Get ready to plunge into the captivating world of Five Nights at Freddy's, where dark secrets and chilling nightmares come to life. Brace yourself as we dive into the twisted mind of Scott, the mastermind behind this creepy animatronic video game, exploring his unusual life, and learning the backstory for the world's creepiest game, a story where a not-so-great game developer defied all odds. Before we tell you how Five Nights at Freddy's performed, you need to hear its evil storyline. It's crazy to imagine this was what was going through Scott's mind when creating the game. It starts off with a man named William Afton. William ends up moving from England to a town called Hurricane with his wife and 3 kids. Upon moving in, he meets a man named Henry. Both share a love for pizza and kids. Eventually, they open a family diner called Fazbear's Family Diner. What made their restaurant so successful were these 2 bear suits. They were not only fun and entertaining mechanics, but also suits that could be put on. While the 2 never wanted to do it, eventually they would have to, which is when things get scary. A new location was opened called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. The pizza shop had 4 new mechanics named Bonnie, Chica, Freddy, and Foxy. Upon opening the new location, the owner, William, became a crazy lunatic. Henry started to see this change and created a new animatronic called the Puppet to protect his daughter Charlie from any possible danger, which may seem silly, but ended up being a good idea. One rainy day, little Charlie ended up getting locked outside the pizza shop. While being locked out, William would come in at high speeds, flattening little Charlie like a pizza. When Charlie died, her spirit possessed the doll. William's family would have a similar incident when the older brother wanted to play a joke on his younger brother. But this joke wouldn't be funny for very long. Mike grabbed his younger brother Evan and put him close to the mouth of Freddy. The machine ended up malfunctioning, crushing tiny Evan like an ant. The death of William's youngest son was very hard on him, and he didn't take it well. That's when William kidnaps 5 kids and ends their lives. In order to hide the bodies, he stuffs all 6 children into a different animatronic, all of them possessing the animatronic they are in. Now this is where you come in. You get a high-paying job as a security guard looking for over the pizza shop at night while the animatronics try and sneak up on you. Which is pretty creepy, I know, but wait until I tell you about the history of this game. Buckle in because we are just getting started. This unique and twisted video game story begins with its creator, Scott Cawthon. Scott, who is an independent video game developer, was born on July 26, 1971. At a very young age, Scott became obsessed with tech and video games. While not much is known about this man's home and childhood, there are plenty of details on his life as an adult and the wicked vision he had when creating the game in 2014. But first, we need to start back in 2013 with the release of Sit and Survive, a simple, boring, and basic arcade-style game where players try to survive for as long as possible by making educated decisions on using their resources wisely. If the character becomes too hungry, tired, or stressed, their survival becomes increasingly challenging. The goal is to carefully balance these needs and make strategic choices to increase the character's survival time. After one failed attempt, Scott quickly moved on and dropped a new game called Chipper and Sons Lumber. In this game, you play life as a beaver named Chipper. Your family owns a very successful lumber company, and you, as Chipper, play an important role in the company by completing various tasks related to lumber production. In the game, you will chop down trees, gather resources, and fulfill orders to progress. But be careful because during the levels, you will come across environmental hazards, investment fails, production delays, and more, all resulting in negative consequences for the lumber company. While the game received okayish feedback, gamers were more drawn to how the characters looked, even though the game had a fun, childish look to it. There was something unsettling about how these beavers, just look at how he looks at you when chopping wood. It kinda even resembles a combination of animal features with human-like expressions like this Chuck E. Cheese mouse. While Scott says these creepy but unique-looking characters were not intentional, but it did give him the idea for his next game, which would be the most successful of them all, and of course that game is Five Nights at Freddy's. The game gained massive popularity because it was so entertaining to watch people's ridiculous, over-top reactions to jump scares. Just check out these. Even big streamers and YouTubers would also help increase the popularity, like PewDiePie, MatPat, and Jacksepticeye all created content around this game.
God, this night is lasting forever!
YouTube even came out with a report that revealed Five Nights at Freddy's was the 8th most watched video game on the platform. The intelligent CEO Scott Cawthon wasted no time. Going off the game's success, he created multiple chapters to the game for a total of 9 different games over the years, 2014 to 2019. The game started becoming so well known that eventually Scott wrote a few books about it, and even of course he made merch to sell. But that's not all. This evil-minded business magnate got in touch with Blumhouse Productions. They are known for their work on horror films, and they wanted to create a movie based on the game, which is set to come out in October of 2023. Now everyone has some weird traits about them, but Scott just seems to have more of them than your average acorn. Take the final level for one of his last games, Five Nights at Freddy's World, where he added himself to it as the final boss and made himself extremely hard to beat. When you first interact with him, he says, "That's some real dedication, great job. Most people are content playing through the game on normal mode, but not you. There is always an overachiever in a bunch. I guess that's you, so it's your fault then for my misery. It's never enough for you. People don't, you get it? I can't do this anymore. I won't. It was fun being the puppet master, but now I grow weary. It's time to put you in your place." Then that's when the challenging battle begins with Scott. Once you defeat him, he leaves you with these words. "Okay, alright, I get it. Was this the ending you really wanted? Coming all the way here just to kill me? Was I really the villain in your mind? I mean, sure, this is definitely one way to bring the story to a halt, but surely there has to be a more satisfying ending. I just do what you demanded of me. I feel your insatiable gullets with more and more and more. Now you're here to show your gratitude. Well, congratulations then. I haven't brought this story to an end. You did. So, feel good about yourself for ending the story by killing the storyteller."